Hello, friends. We are here to share an episode with you that we usually only share with patrons. We record this every month, and it's a place where we check in on what's going well, what's hard right now, and how our self-care is going. This is a great way to encourage each other and hold ourselves accountable for our self-care. It's a conversation starter for our Patreon community where we give and get lots of great ideas while processing our homeschools together. You'll notice we get a bit more personal in these episodes with no editing, just us being real. If you are interested in becoming a patron and receiving a monthly episode just like this, plus a monthly LTW Extra episode, extended guest interviews, the Back to School Summit, and a Patreon-only Facebook community for just $5 a month, go to patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined. Here it is. Enjoy. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to our October check-in. We are so glad you're here. We have a few new supporters this month, so if this is your first episode, welcome. Extra special welcome.
Yeah.
You may have noticed this is coming at a different time than what you might be used to. I don't know if anybody kept track of when we release these. But for some strange reason, we have been releasing them. We had been releasing them on the 12th and the 19th, the LTW Extra on the 19th. But we changed that, and we are now releasing the check-in on the second Thursday of the month and the LTW Extra on the fourth Thursday of the month.
Just to spread out the goodness.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Spread out the recording.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah. So this is the second Thursday, and so you're getting the October check-in. So
yeah. So if you're new here, our monthly check-in is where we talk about what's going well. We talk about what's hard or what needs tweaking, meaning what do we need to change? But then sometimes things are so hard or it's just hard and they just are, and we aren't going to change them. It's just what it is. So sometimes it's just hard. And then also we talk about our self-care check-in. We used to do this on our regular episodes, didn't we?
oh gosh, many years.
Yeah.
Well, many years ago. Many months ago. Maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Or before we started doing it in Patreon.
And it was so popular. We thought, let's just keep doing it over on Patreon.
Yes.
So
yes, because the point is to encourage you to check in with yourself, and either tell a friend in real life, tell somebody online. If you're a part of our, well, you are all a part of our squad, and so you have access to the Facebook group, and so you could check in there.
yes.
But we just encourage, and we will put a thread in the Facebook group so you can
Yes. And it sounds
specifically
like
answer.
I did a very unscientific poll. It's an unscientific little experiment in Facebook. And I really do think when I ask the questions separately, you all really are able to answer. It's probably just overwhelming when I ask how is your check-in? There's so many, it's a big question.
There's so many things.
Yeah.
Right.
So I like to break it down in the Facebook group and ask you specifically what's going well. One day I'll ask you that. And then the next day I'll ask you about what's hard. And then the next day, your self-care check-in. So because I really, really hope we can have some good conversations in there, because this is so important. And it can be what, kind of sustains you through this time. So
I have to tell you, I'm loving the Facebook group because people you are all so smart.
Yes.
You give such good answers and responses. Mm-hmm. I love reading them. I feel unworthy when I do.
I feel the same way. I just think, why are we
people
doing the podcast?
I know.
Wait a second.
Yeah. So I learn a lot from you all in there. So thank you. All right, let's get started.
Okay.
Maren, what is going well for you right now?
Okay, so it's kind of a little bit of an update from last month. Last month I talked about how, there's a lot of interest-led learning that's happening in our home, which I'm excited about. And I feel like also kind of what has grown from that is a really good kind of schedule for us. And like I probably talked about this last month that I can't remember now, but like, I just feel like where my kids are at right now, we are just coming off a year of traveling around the United States about 1 month at a time in one city. And so a routine and a schedule was not normal. for the last year. Some things, some of our routines we kept throughout that year, but like a lot of times we would get up, do a few little routines in the morning, and then we'd go somewhere and see the city and, explore. And so, I feel like taking that long of a break was so great for all of us because we have this renewed energy to do some home things now, which we did not ever have. None of us really had motivation to do any kind of like spelling or, like just things that were kind of, routine things we needed to do on a day, we could do on a daily basis and just they don't take long, but they're just like not the most exciting things for us to do.
Like traditionally academic things. And I feel like we're kind of I'm not going to say we're all super into it, but I do feel like it's kind of bringing us kind of this sense of calm and normalcy right now that we haven't had for a while. That's great.
Which it's almost hard for me to say that because this is not my thing. It's not always my thing to do this, the kind of traditional learning things. But this season right now, it kind of is. I'm kind of not hating it.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's awesome. If you've been around since last March, that was me in March and April. I was like, we're doing lots of academics, and it was kind of surprising to me because at that time everybody was home and had to be home, and I was like, well, now's our chance. We had all just slowed to a stop basically. And so that's what we were doing then. So I do understand the surprise with really digging into that, and that being a really good thing. And I know your family has not. You've been very interest-led learners
for sure
the whole time.
Yes.
You've homeschooled. So this is different.
It is.
Do you think it might be partially too because your kids are getting older?
Yeah, for sure.
Probably plays into it.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. My kids wouldn't have. They've never been seat work people. Yeah, really none of them, and I never was either. And so I
You mean in school?
Yeah.
Or as a teacher? Okay. Yeah.
And teaching.
Yeah. And parenting.
And parenting and everything. I've never been like that. And it's not like, friends, it's not like we do this for very long every day. But even just to do a little bit of it it's kind of surprising to me. But also, I don't know, it just feels kind of nice. Yeah. So, so that people aren't picturing, I mean, I know you, so I know when you say like, we're not doing that much of it. Yes.
I know kind of what you mean, but I'm curious, like, how much time are you spending?
Like today, it was probably, we did like a 10-minute video class together, or spelling video class. I mean, it was like 10 minutes, really. Yep. And then, let me think. It's a math. Well, we did like a math app today too. So, that was not really seat work necessarily. Although with my older kids, we do have to write a lot down. You know what I mean? So it is. I would call that seat work. I'm trying to think of what else. That's like maybe it. And then I do have to say, okay. Maybe I overhyped that up a little bit. No, I was going to say something else. Oh, yes. So, how if you've listened for a while, you also know that one of my favorite things is read aloud. I've always loved read aloud. And I've been kind of mourning the fact that it's ending for us.
Changing.
Yeah, for sure. Or, like the whole family thing was kind of ending, I thought. So I kind of, at the beginning of this year, I kind of separated out read aloud because it seemed like there was a trend where if I read to a smaller group of kids, I have 4 kids. If I if I read one-on-one with the kids, they were just much more attentive and very, really liked that quality time together.
Yep.
But it was really kind of taxing me. September was tough for me with all the read alouds. As much as
a lot of reading aloud.
As much as I love reading aloud, that was a lot for me. And I don't know that the kids got as much out of it as it was worth. And so for the month of October, I told the kids, we're just going to do one read aloud together. I am going to have you guys, I would like you guys to do an audiobook on your own, for this month. But also, like, let's just do one for this month. Let's just see how it goes. So I'm reading a book with everyone. And it's the first time we've done this in this house. And, like, I feel like a setup of a house is so key in how this kind of goes sometimes. Especially with a bigger family. Like, if you have room for all your kids to sit in one room, it's a lot easier to do read aloud. And so we have that now, and it's starting to go really well again.
Yeah.
And I think it maybe maybe the book, that I'm reading that seems kind of high interest for everyone, which is hard to do, to find a book that everyone's motivated enough to come and sit and listen to.
Yeah.
So
what book is it?
It's Fish in a Tree.
Oh yeah.
Which is actually the Brave Learner book for I'm not going to remember. I think it's the Arrow this month. So it's my 11-year-old's book for the month, but I just decided to read it to everyone.
Okay.
So
yeah. I mean, I have noticed, because I'm reading alone with my 11-year-old, which I talk about in the episode that's coming out Monday, that I haven't done too much of that, like the one-on-one, but I am now. And I'm noticing, like, it's better because he gets the book that's specifically tailored to him. He gets to quit when he wants. He gets to keep going when he wants. And all those things don't happen in a bigger group. You just have to go with what the group is doing. And so it is a challenge to do the big group. But I also think, like, switching back and forth. I mean, I did that I've done that for the last 2 years also. Yeah. Where it's like, sometimes you do the whole group, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're doing it individually. So I think changing is good too.
I think so too. That's what I think I'm starting to realize this year is I like changing things up. And it doesn't have to be huge changes. Like, we're still doing read aloud. We're just doing it in a little bit of a different way. And that feels good to me. And I think it feels good to everyone. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. I think it's kind of, but I do have to say also, my 11-year-old son and I are still doing a read aloud together in the mornings. He gets up so early. Yeah. And he's into, we're in the middle of the Lord of the Rings series. So, like, and he's such a creature of habit too. So, like, he expects that every morning for sure to happen. And then, my 13-year-old and I are reading Stamped from the beginning. Okay. Together. Yeah. So, there's still some reading. You're still doing it. Still read alouds happening. It's just not like we have to get to this today or else, because my main goal now is just this group read aloud. And if the other ones happen, that's great too. So, yeah. Okay. Great. Do you have more things that are going well, or should I just start? Why don't you start? I'll start. I have a few random things. Okay. One thing that is going really well for us that I just want to highlight is Outschool. I was going to ask you about this. Good. Where would I be without Outschool? Really? Outschool is, if you're unfamiliar, it's just a place where people can create classes for kids. Yep. Like video classes for kids, and they're usually live. Yeah. And you can, there's a whole, like, catalog of different classes from super academic to super not academic. Around any topic. They can be one class period long to a whole semester long. And I just feel like it is a go-to place for us. Yeah. I don't know where I would go. I would have to be seeking out different companies or places or whoever that were offering classes. It would be very hard for me. Yeah. It's so nice to have a one-stop shop. You just know. Yeah. Yeah. And the other things I like about it are it's pretty low cost. So you're not, like, doing a huge commitment. It's not like, paying hundreds of dollars for a class and you're committing for a long time. It's like you can try something out for a week or two and see if you like it, which I really love. And then I love that there are, like, whatever your kid is into, you can find a class for. That's so great. So we are really utilizing Outschool this year. And especially too, my kids are getting older. It's just a combination of things. I have, my kids are 15, 13, and 11. My 15-year-old is doing distance learning. So she's here, but not, I'm not in charge of her school. So it's really my 11 and 13-year-olds are, taking advantage of Outschool a little bit. Also, they're to that age where having an outside teacher to,
having an outside teacher is just
accountable
nice.
Yeah.
Just
Having
for
a
so
different
many
voice,
reasons.
for sure.
So nice.
So nice.
And then they have like, a different person to see and, like something going on.
Yes.
And so some classes that we are taking is my 13-year-old is taking a sketching class. Actually, it just ended. It was 4 weeks long.
I need to hear. What did you think about it? Because
she loved it.
Oh, good.
It was just 4 weeks for an
one.
hour, an hour a week. And she learned sketching of I think it was sketching people and faces, which she has never done before. So she learned a new skill. And something she can do independently without me. It was her thing. So that was great. She is also taking a writing class. And this class, what I really like about this is it's a half an hour once a week. And there's continuous enrollment. So some kids join for 1 week only and that's it. Some join for the whole year. Some just, you pay each week. So just whenever you want to do it, you can. You can do it for a few weeks and then not.
I love that.
But it's short. It's a half an hour. And it's very practical writing skills. So reading a paragraph and answering a question, or reading a short thing. How would you answer the question in a paragraph form?
Yes.
Or learning how to skim a document or an essay for picking out the main points.
Great.
So it's all that stuff that is important practically to learn how to do, but I've never taught that.
Yeah.
Kind of skipped over that. So she likes it because she's getting a little shot of something. She feels like she's learning something valuable. It's like I said, it's only half an hour. So it's not she doesn't have homework or anything. It's just she's learning something, practicing it, and is done until the next week. So
it's just amazing. It's so
I
great.
really like that. Yeah. And then my son, my 11-year-old, we found his math tutor through Outschool.
Great.
So this is the other great thing about Outschool is there's a lot of teachers who are tutoring on Outschool, especially this year. It might be teachers who are have decided to quit their in-person teaching job and just do this, or teachers who are teaching part-time, or I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why people are making extra money on Outschool. And so what I did was I just searched math tutor, middle school math tutor, and, I got a huge return of people. And then I just started messaging them to figure out who would be a good fit. And we found this tutor who was great.
Oh,
and
so awesome.
So he's meeting with her once a week. And she teaches part-time in school and then does this also on the side. So
good. Yeah.
So I know some people recommended that to me when I was trying to find a tutor for my son. So thank you to all of you who suggested that. And then my son is also super into Star Wars.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
But he's also he's into Star Wars: The Old Republic, which you guys, I'm not into Star Wars, but this is a niche thing. Whatever the Old Republic is, it's what he's into.
It's a deep dive into Star Wars.
It's really a deep dive into a certain part of Star Wars.
Are you talking about specifically the book series, the Old
Well,
Republic?
he has memorized the book series. But it's I actually don't know. All of you who know Star Wars probably know more than I do. But it's a I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's I think it's more than just the books.
Yeah.
But he found a class, the Star Wars: The Old Republic, history class.
It's so amazing.
This was so exciting because there were 10 other kids and the teacher who are also all super into this, talking about it.
It's so fun to meet your people, to find your people.
Yeah. And that was only 4 weeks too, but he was super excited for that one.
I bet.
So
I bet.
Yeah. So awesome. Those are just some examples this year, but I don't know. I just think it can give you a little extra boost. It can be good for if you as the teacher, if you are tired of doing something, you want to delegate it.
Yep.
Can give your kid a chance to explore something new. It's just, and it's pretty low cost and pretty low commitment.
You're probably not spending money on other in-person classes.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
This is great.
Yeah.
You've convinced me to go back and look at that because it's
You've
been
done
on my
some
radar.
before, haven't you?
I've done Outschool in the past and thought it was so great. I've loved all the classes we've taken. But I mean, it's been like on my radar for a while, just kind of like, oh yeah, I gotta look into that. But now I'm like, now it's back to the top of my list. So thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I have to say, so one other thing that I wanted to say that's going well for us is our wake up time. And I know that I feel like I'm saying this because I know this can be really a challenge to figure out like how and when kids should get up in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And certainly is for us because now that our kids are getting older, I have one kid who gets up at like 6 a.m. and the rest of them would sleep. I mean, much later. So because also my son who wakes up at 6 is like he loves one-on-one time. He's the one who likes Lord of the Rings. So we both get our alone time in the morning. We go for a walk in the morning together. I read Lord of the Rings with him in the morning. And then at that time, it's like about 9 o'clock. And that's when I wake up the rest of the kids, the other 3 kids.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's like kind of we're on a good schedule in that way. And I just think sometimes I think, oh, it's too late. Everybody needs to wake up earlier. Or sometimes I think, oh, our kids just need to sleep when, we need to let them sleep. And so I feel like this is just like a good balance of that in between. It's kind of in between.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on the weekends, we don't wake them up. But like during the week, it feels good to be in that routine. It still takes like sometimes an hour for everybody to be up and at 'em. But I don't care. It's just, I like to have that consistency.
Yeah.
And
because you and your son are getting your own routines into the morning, to wake them up earlier would disrupt that.
Exactly. So. That's why I'm not super motivated to get up earlier. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. Yeah. I too think like I struggle with the sleeping in and the wake up. I would prefer everybody sleep in because I know sleep is so important, but then that would be till 11 or 12 and that's not going to work. So I think 9 for me is a good middle ground. Like you're still sleeping in, but it's not like super long.
Yeah.
So, and my kids will sleep late on the weekends too.
Right.
Okay. Right, one other thing that's going well, I just wanted to say, which I was just reminded of when we transitioned from summer to fall. And I didn't know this, but in the summer, we didn't have a routine very much. I mean, we had a routine, but there wasn't much many tasks going on during the day for my kids.
Yes.
And my kids have done so much better with that routine and lots of tasks, not lots, a few different tasks throughout their day that they know they need to complete, especially my 11-year-old. His mood and demeanor and anxiety has improved so much.
Wow.
That I thought, is this all I needed to do? Like I didn't know that. Like I kind like the change. It was like in the summer I want to like have the freedom and flexibility to do projects and go places and like not be tied down by things, right? And so when fall starts, it's hard because it's like, ugh, now we're gonna have to like I feel a little tied down by school.
Yes.
But I think that's what he really needs. Oh, yeah. And I think some kids really need that. And I was just reminded of it and I don't want to forget it. For next summer, I think that is a thing that really is beneficial to a lot of, probably even me too. It's probably really beneficial to me too. And so I'm really glad that's happening and don't want to forget it.
Yes.
So like, and it happens at like the holiday break too. It's like, wow, everybody's really
edgy,
fighting a lot, or edgy. Yes. Yeah. And then as soon as we get back in the routine, things are better. And so I should know this, but
yes. So true.
Yeah. Okay. How about what's hard right now? What's hard right now for you, Maren?
Well, there's always a few things.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start out with this one sometimes. So one thing I should say, this is more under the category needs tweaking or is under construction right now, which is, so my oldest, my 13-year-old, and I had this plan at the beginning of the year, which I now realize was mostly my plan, that we would do a book club with a couple of her friends, including one of your kids, and we set up a schedule to do a book club, and I was like so optimistic about this. I just thought I can check off so much learning. I am so excited about this. And I feel like as soon as I get that feeling, I should be like checking myself there. But yeah. And so it was really, but at the end of September when we were supposed to do our first book club, that I started to realize I don't think this is going as well as I haven't been checking in to see how she's doing with it. And finally at the end of the month, I just realized this actually isn't going to work for her. She first of all told me like, Mom, I don't want to do the book club this month. And then it was like, well, do you want to do the book club at all? No, not really. And she's like, I think this is mostly your idea. And I went along with it, and now I'm kind of like second guessing. And I think she was completely accurate, and we had to kind of like revamp our whole idea of what that was supposed to look like and what that should look for her. And so I'm saying this because I feel like this is kind of like what the episode that you're going to hear next week. We talk about this a lot. Like, I needed to listen to her and empower her in that situation. If I thought it was going to be super detrimental for her to not do the book club or whatever, if I thought I know better and this is like important, I would probably have continued to push it. But I also think what's more powerful right now is for her to make those decisions. She is such a inquisitive, smart person. Mm-hmm. And so she learns so much on her own. She reads a lot. It's just not the stuff I want to read. I would ask her to read. It's not the stuff, that would ever be on a book list. And so, I still want her to read some of those books, but it's just going to look different, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. It's okay. I'm just like, I'm feeling as a parent, my first reaction is I've really messed this up, how is she ever going to learn if she doesn't do the things I want her to do? And it's taken me a few weeks here to be like, you know what? This was actually more probably of a learning lesson for me to understand how she learns, and that she really, really, really is learning every day so much. And I made myself notice how much she's learning every day, because sometimes I just don't. And I made myself notice over the last 2 weeks all the things she's doing and all the things she's learning, and it's so much. Yeah. But it takes a conscious, need to trust her. Yes. And to really understand how much learning happens is you almost have to like watch, and it has to be such a conscious thing to watch and see all the learning that's actually happening. If you're not watching and noticing it, you might think she's not learning anything, but there's so much learning happening. So anyway.
So you set up a whole plan for the year. Yeah. And then you had to backtrack.
Yes.
And I just want to highlight that, because I think that I want to say like that's okay to do that.
Yes.
And also
it's the whole reason why I wanted to share this story. You
had to tell me.
Yeah.
That you weren't doing it anymore.
I know. That was like I told you, my first reaction, one of my first reactions too was, what am I going to tell my friends? Because it's like my friends' kids who I have to let down. And that is it, that shouldn't be my priority right then and there anyway.
Right.
But
and it's a good place to practice it.
Yeah.
With your friends.
Yes.
Because it's okay. It's really okay. I mean, I say this, I want to highlight this because I think a lot of people probably are in a similar, have been in a similar position where like, I set up this whole co-op for you, or like I'm doing this book club party with all these people. We're doing it tomorrow. It's happening, and that is really hard as the homeschool parent to really trust your kids and put that first.
Exactly.
Make that the priority.
Yep.
So good job for doing
humbling.
that. Good job for doing it.
Thank you.
I mean, you did it really quickly, pretty quickly. So
well, it was pretty
good
clear.
About that.
It was pretty clear. She made it very clear what needed to happen. I mean, like it wasn't clear for a month, like how this was going to go. And then it was really clear. really quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Do you want me to say more, or do you want to? Why don't you go next?
I'll go.
I can
Okay.
come back.
So here's what's hard for me right now, and I just need to preface this by saying, like, when I have to think about what's hard for me, of course I'm like, we're in a pandemic, we're in an election season, you know, like
these things are hard.
Like it's hard right now. Like we're doing distance learning and people are working from home, and yes, the world is really hard right now.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, you know, be a broken record and talk about those things. I'm trying to think of other things that is a challenge right now, that's specifically to right now. And I think this is definitely like pandemic related, but you know, my kids are on their screens too much. And I struggle with that. And that has happened since March.
Yeah.
Because that is the way that they hang out with their friends.
Yes.
That's the way they hang out with family.
This is
That's
on my
the way
list
they
too,
make
Angela.
connections. Is it?
Yes,
okay, good.
for
Let's
sure.
talk about it.
Yes.
This is the way they make connections.
Yeah.
This is the way they take classes. You know, this is the way they're doing a lot of their learning.
Yeah.
So I just struggle because I want them to do all of those things.
Yep.
So like, I want them to be on their screens, talking to friends, talking to their grandparents, taking the classes.
Yeah.
Yet it's too much.
I agree. It's so much.
So that's it. I don't have a solution.
Yeah.
It's too much. And I don't know how to set boundaries. I feel like I don't know how to set boundaries because
this is all new.
it's all new, and it's most of the stuff they're doing is awesome. It's so good. I want them to keep doing it.
Yes.
But some kids get cranky.
Yeah.
Some kids get headachy. And then I think it can become a habit
Yeah.
too. Like, oh, I'll just, you know, it becomes like, you know, I'm bored, so I'm gonna, you know, look up this one. You know, like just go to a device when you're bored, which I do sometimes when I'm on devices too much or something. So was that kind of what you were going to say too?
Yeah,
or
basically
same
word for word. I mean, pretty much. Yeah. Well, I was just thinking there's something, you know, that's, I don't know. There's something about this virtual world that just doesn't feel, and I'm going to talk about this in self-care about how being outside and being in nature is like so strongly therapy for me right now because it's real. Yeah. Because it's so different. Yeah. Than what we're doing so much of the day. And so I think that's part of it too. Like there's so much non-real thing, you know, not in real, it's just like not in real life interactions happening. That's just there's something kind of missing there, and it's just tough. It's so tough.
Yeah. Like I do feel that strong pull also to nature. And so I'm worried, or, you know, is that the right word? I'm thinking about the winter and feeling anxious about that because I feel more than ever that, you know, I need to get everybody outside.
I agree.
And
that's why I've already bought all the warmest winter jackets and snow pants I could find already because we can't not have that right now.
I haven't even done that yet. I need to get on it. I know you were doing it like a month ago, and I was reminded then, and I thought I need to do that. And
well, we didn't need winter clothes last year because we were in the south part of the United States, and so I knew we were going to have to get all new things. Like everybody's outgrown everything. Yeah. So it was imperative, and my kids are so excited about snow again. You know, seeing snow again and being outside, and so I just thought I am jumping on this for sure. Yeah. And so, oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm reminded of How to Raise a Wild Child, which we did a book club on that book like maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember. Yeah. If you haven't listened to that, you might want to. Where the author was talking about like, you know, teens or tweens, and like just the balance of technology and nature. Yes. And how they're going to be doing both. Like they should be doing both. Yes. It's not like you're not going to be able to create an only nature world. Yes. Yeah. And so like, how can you counteract?
Screens are how, you know, this next generation really interact with the world almost. So we can't just blindly say no to everything, but also I want there to be a good balance. So yeah. I don't know what it is.
So it's a challenge.
Yeah. I feel like our kids' generation, when they get, I mean, maybe even now, but like as they grow older, they're going to be the ones to be like, oh yeah, this is how you do it. You know?
Yeah. They're going to have more answers because they'll have had experience.
Right.
I hope
we
so.
didn't ever live like this when we were kids.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is there more that's hard for you?
I'm trying to think. Let's see. Well, I think just my own personality is I often feel even after I do some planning and writing things down, I still feel very frazzled at least once a day. And I think this is just my own personality and probably my maybe some attention issues or whatever. But like, I just often feel like I should be doing a million things and I can only do one thing and it's not enough. And so at least once a day, I have to calm myself down from that. So, and like we were just talking about this beforehand, you know, like yesterday it was so beautiful. This whole week has been just beautiful in Minnesota. And so yesterday morning, I told the kids, we have got to go outside this morning. Yeah. Like we left the house and went to a nature center, and it was the most like precious time because it was just so beautiful. Nobody else was there. And it was, the kids were just soaking it into everybody. It was just like this serendipitous kind of moment. And then, but in my mind, I was thinking, we should be doing work at home. and I get so mad at myself when I think that, when it's like this perfect moment. Yeah. I get so
You're
mad.
not going to satisfy yourself.
I'm never going to be satisfied.
Yeah.
So this is another thing I don't have a question for. I don't have an answer for. It's kind of like the screens. Like,
yeah.
But I'm just noticing this about myself.
Yeah.
That every day at some point I'm like,
yeah, you're always frustrated with yourself that you're either not doing enough, not resting enough.
Yes.
Not getting outside enough.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Do you feel that
good.
way? Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel that way.
Okay.
I was telling you before we got on, it's a beautiful day. I feel this, it's like almost a panic. And I feel this way living in Minnesota. It's just, the weather is so like precarious that could all be gone tomorrow. And I need to get outside right now.
So true.
We need to enjoy this weather right now.
Hurry up and enjoy this.
And enjoy it,
everybody.
And it's hard because people are like, "Well, I have this thing to do," and you know, I get it. Like we're recording right now, you know.
Yes.
But after this, we're getting outside.
Yes.
Because it could be gone. And we lived in Arizona for a little while, and it did not feel like that. I felt like it's going to be just this nice tomorrow.
Yes.
So amazing.
It's so true.
Sunny and warm every day.
Yes. There is not this frantic thing, like
anxiety, panic.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. Because we know we are going to basically have to hibernate inside for 3 or 4 months. And
yeah. And this could be, what if this is the last week? Or, you know, like, I don't know. On the other hand, the good thing about it is I really appreciate a good, nice sunny day. Or like, I really appreciate the 70 and sunny.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait,
else?
I have one more one more quick thing.
Good.
I was asking my kids before I came in what's hard and what's
good,
what's going well. And my teen was telling me, so my 15-year-old is doing distance learning. Probably like a lot of you listening, you might have kids doing distance learning. So this is why I wanted to share this. She said what's really hard right now is managing her time because she's in complete control of when she does school and when she doesn't, when she does fun stuff and when she does family stuff. And so she said she feels like she's pulled in all the directions. Like she should be doing school, kind of like us.
Yeah.
She should be, her family wants her to hang out.
Yes.
Her friends want her to hang out, and she wants to hang out with her friends. And like when you're going to school, you know, she didn't feel that as much. She went to school last year, and you know, you're in school from 8 to 3 or whatever. And that's when you do school. And so after that is the fun time. And she's just like, this is her first, I mean, she was homeschooled before, but she wasn't really managing her day.
Right.
She's like, I'm not in charge of any of her school. She's doing it all on her own. So she's completely managing her day and her time, which I think is such a good learning experience because this is what happens, you know, in life. So this is a good experience.
Probably feels a little like college. I feel like this is what I had to do when I went to college for the first time.
Yeah.
Like,
do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like managing. Yeah. Yeah. So she said that is really hard for her right now.
Yeah.
And I empathize. And I think
Definitely.
probably lots of kids, even much younger than her, are having to deal with this right now as they're doing distance learning or classes or whatever.
Yes.
And it's like they've jumped right in to time management and figuring that out.
Yep.
So
yeah. In the deep end.
in the deep end. Yes.
My goodness.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Good for her though.
Mm-hmm. So Maren, how is your self-care going?
Okay. My self-care. So, I think probably the same as last month. I don't know that
Remind us,
much
'cause
has
I don't
changed.
remember.
So I don't feel like I'm doing a ton of getting out in the middle of the day anymore. And which is something I love to do. I love getting out in the middle of the day.
You mean like for a walk or
Yeah,
something?
for
or
a
you
walk or a run or just, I don't know. Yes. And
Okay.
before the pandemic, I probably, or really before we traveled, I had Orange Theory or, somewhere to go. And there's like nowhere that's making me go work out or,
yeah.
someplace to go or whatever. So I don't know. There's just something I'm feeling like I want a new fitness plan. And I like some sort of intensity, but also, like I said, like I have this frantic, frazzled feeling sometime during the day. And so sometimes I feel like it's very easy for me to just think of all the things I have to do. And it's just, that doesn't get put on the list.
Yeah.
And like, how we talked about at the beginning of the year, it's kind of hard to take care of yourself anyway. Like we're taking care of everyone else, these new challenges, these new schedules. And I want to make sure everyone else feels comfortable really in this new plan. And there's always bumps that go along with that. So the beginning of the year is always tough. And I feel like it's time for us to get out of the beginning of the year. Me doing that, like taking care of everybody's whatever, like we've moved on. And so I need to mentally move on and be like, everybody's established. It's okay now to let go and do something else for myself. So anyway, I'm working on that. This is probably part of what needs tweaking. So I'm really like, I am being very conscious about that. I do have to say, I got, Sean and I are definitely talking about how we're going to be physically active in the winter with our whole family. And we're thinking of all the ways.
Yeah. What are some ideas?
All the possible ways. Well, like Sean's idea is like video game apps where you do, exercise.
Okay.
Or like, there's like a balancing thing. You can buy this balance thing, and then there's games on the TV where you do things. I don't know, or like Dance Revolution or something like that. So those are things, but also, I don't know. There's like there's a what is it called? Fight Club, not Fight Club.
No idea.
But it's like basically boxing. And then there's it's like smart boxing. You can box, and then on the TV it tells you like how accurate you are and stuff like that. Anyway, there's so many things like that. And I feel like I might want to do something like that to get me through this winter. Okay. It's not something I would normally do in real life situation, in like a normal year. Yeah. Is to get one of these, a big system that I do on the TV. And I would not normally do this, but I have got to keep remembering that we are in a pandemic, and this is the long run. We're not like, this isn't the sprint that we thought it was going to be. And life is different. And I have to I think as a 7, I don't always acknowledge this is different and hard. And I need to do that for my own mental care, self-care.
Like I've said before, and I don't remember where, if it was just to you or on the podcast, you are going to look back and wonder how you got through this. Yeah. In 5 years or 10 years. You will. Mm-hmm. And it is really hard. And when you're in it, it's like having little kids. You think, it's hard. Yeah. But you really don't. Yeah. Act like you know that.
Right. I mean, people who are in tough situations like this in the past probably didn't think of it
Yeah.
when they were in the middle of it always, this was like, you know, you are in survival mode right now. You don't think about that always when you're in it. So yeah. So I am thinking like, I think I do have to take some drastic measures for this winter. And I am coming to terms with that as far as like being active, because that's how I feel happy. So I am still using the Glow yoga app, and I am loving it. I'm still loving it. It's one of the things that has lasted for me.
Yeah.
One of the few
great.
things.
That's great.
Yeah, because there's so much variety. You can do when I need to stretch, and they have like, you know, hour-long stretching videos, that is amazing.
You do an hour-long stretch?
Sometimes I do.
Wow.
Yeah. When I'm like in pain, an hour long of like the best stretching. It's just so good.
Yeah.
But then also if I need like 20 minutes of intense work, I can do that too.
Yeah.
So they just have everything. They have got such a good variety.
That's awesome.
So I'm still loving that.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I'm really needing outside in nature. It is like therapy to me, and I just think it changes everything. So
yeah,
even when it's cold out, it's going to be really important for me to get outside every day. Even if it's 0 degrees out or 20 below, I'm probably going to be going outside. So I'm preparing for that now.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about
smart.
that now.
I gotta do that. I need to write that down.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
Is that all? Okay. My self-care is similar in that I find it hard when we're transitioning from not doing school to doing school. Mm-hmm. And I am like you, I'm not quite there yet. So that is a challenge.
Yep.
Oh, there's a siren. It's okay.
Oh yeah. I hear it.
Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm. And
I don't know if you guys hear it.
And I hear my dog barking.
That's okay.
Edit.
We don't edit. We don't edit these Patreon episodes. Okay. So I am having a hard time with that transition. I am not doing what I would like to. I need to get outside too. I am like you. I need to get outside. And I've been in seasons where I'm like a daily walk is what I do.
Yeah.
I am not there now. And so that is really hard for me.
Yeah.
I'm just, when I need a time, like when should I do this? Like I need a regular daily time. Like every day at 1:00, I go for my walk, and it's just not happening. My oldest is going to hybrid. She goes to school on a kind of a weird schedule. It's not a predictable schedule. It's either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday for 2.5 hours, which like I feel like I have a preschooler again who I'm dropping off at school. Because it's just like I can't, like, interrupts my day. I can't really plan for it. I can't do regular things. And so, but that's really important to her. So I'm trying to figure out, like, also with the weather changing, like it used to be like morning would be a good time for a walk.
Yes.
Now it's like 1:00 is a good time for a walk. Right. Later it's going to be like 3 or 4 o'clock is a good time for a walk. So, I don't know. I'm not on a regular rhythm and I hate it. I need to like really be regularly getting outside.
Yes.
The other thing that's kind of interrupted it, but has been a good thing, is I got a bike and I love going for bike rides. I love it so much. So I've been sometimes going for bike rides or sometimes walking. Mm-hmm. Just depending. And then some kids might want to go with me for one or the other, but might not with the other. So it's just very like sporadic. I'm not into a regular rhythm.
Yeah. And do you feel like with your kids getting older, I used to think when my kids were younger, I need to go do my own walking because I walk faster and like I need to go for a longer amount of time. And now all my kids could do as much as I do or more or whatever, and so I just think, I don't know. I just feel like so much of my physical activity now is with them more. And so I'm not getting that really on my own as much as I used to.
Right. And I want them to.
Yes.
Like they need to get outside too and they need to push. So
they do.
I am doing it with them, but that means I'm not doing it alone. Mm-hmm. And it's fine. It's good. It's good that I'm doing it with them, but I do miss the alone time.
It's just a shift.
I miss like walking by myself, putting in a podcast and just like going as fast as I want and where I want and for how long I want.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's challenging. But I will say, okay, the one thing that is going really well is it's getting darker earlier. And so I'm getting better sleep.
Oh, good.
I'm going to bed earlier.
That's so nice.
And I'm getting good sleep. I like cannot believe it.
Yeah.
So that is really awesome. I always take a bath at night. So I'm like trying to count the things that
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I should do that. It's really hard for me to do that in the evenings. How do you, how and when do you do that?
I just like, it's just become a thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, peace out. Bye.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a bath.
Is
Everybody
it like
knows.
right before bedtime?
No,
Or-
sometimes it's at like 7.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just sometime between like 6 and 9
Yeah.
for a half an hour. Like whenever I can. I just
Oh, great.
like sometimes when everybody's doing dishes from dinner.
Oh my gosh.
See ya. I'm going.
That
to take a
sounds like
bath
the dream.
because I have to. And I don't know why I have prioritized that. And like now my family just knows and nobody questions it. I need to also do that with other things.
Yes.
But I do have it down for the bath. So
Well, you know, once you have it down for one thing, probably you'll be like, "We'll see, this worked." So
yeah.
this is
Yeah.
yes, good for you. I love that.
The other thing that's really challenging is not having any alone time. And I know all of you listening are relating. Like this is like a universal problem right now that we don't have alone time.
Yes.
I don't know how to remedy that. I want my own bedroom, and like who decided?
I know.
Who made it a thing that like the parents have to share a room?
And nobody else has to? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like why am I sharing a bedroom?
second.
I need my own bedroom. I need a room. Like I need an office. I need something.
Yes.
An office with a bed. Something. An
office with a fold-out couch?
I want some place that's just mine and nobody else can come in, and I don't have that. But yeah, and like it just, you know, Jeremy and I would sometimes get away, I don't know, once a year or something for a night or two. That is not happening.
Yep.
I'm not getting away by myself. That's not happening. I know you're all relating. It's
We're
really
all
hard.
nodding our heads,
And I
yes.
just want to say that that's really hard.
Yep.
I'm still doing therapy, which has really been
Great.
beneficial. So that's good. That's good. I'm glad that that's a constant. I just need to get like the daily out in nature exercise thing needs to improve kind of quickly.
Yes. And,
So-
you know, like you've said, like you were saying, because it's so nice here, it's intense right now. That need is like really
The
important
need
right
is so
now.
intense.
Hurry up and get out there is the feeling.
Right now.
Right now.
Because you're not going to be able to soon.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So hopefully next month I'll have, you're right. It's like, we're already into October. We should have this transition figured out by now.
I know. It's time
It's
to
a
move on.
long transition.
Yeah. It's easy to stay there, though. It's easy to say, well, my kids need me. So, you know, I need to do this. I need to stick around. But really, it's okay. It's okay to get out. So,
Yeah.
I'm telling myself the same thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
I
that
think
was
that's
good.
it. I think that's it. Yeah.
That felt really good. I'm glad we got all of that
It
out.
felt like therapy.
Yeah.
Thank you for
felt
listening.
Like a good session. Thanks, everyone. We, of course, want to hear how you're doing in all these things. So make sure you get to the Facebook group and so we can talk.
Yep.
There.
Definitely. And we'll see you in 2 weeks, the 4th Thursday, for LTW Extra.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Homeschool Unrefined is created and produced by Maren and Angela Sizer. Amanda Ginn is our content and marketing strategist.
This podcast is listener supported. We have been and are happy to be personally investing in this business we believe in. But we also know we deserve to have a business that invests in itself. When we reach 200 patrons, we'll have enough to cover our costs and the many projects we are dreaming of. Join our growing community at patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined.
Additionally, we are donating 10% of all Patreon income and product sales to The Conscious Kid, a Black and Brown-led organization that has been instrumental in our own evolution and in leading the way in both ideological and tangible change with their work in parenting and education through a critical race lens.
No matter how you homeschool, you are exactly who your kids need. You're doing great.